Mosquito buzzing. You're finally drifting off. Room's dark, body's heavy, brain's powering down, and then that whine. Somewhere near your ear. Impossible to locate, impossible to ignore. Here's the twist. Your ears are basically engineered to hear this exact sound. Human hearing is most sensitive in the 2 to 5 kilohertz range, and mosquito buzz sits right inside it. It's not bad luck. It's evolution flagging a biting insect before it lands. So you don't just hear it, you react to it. Lights on, flashlight up. Full search and destroy mode over a bug that weighs less than a raindrop, and once the buzzing stops, that's almost worse, because now you're lying there, wide awake, waiting for round 2. Alarm. Speaking of things that hijack your nervous system before you're even conscious, your alarm doesn't wake you up. It ambushes you. Your brain treats that sound like an emergency broadcast, a jolt of adrenaline, every single time, whether there's an actual emergency or not. Now imagine that same jolt on a day you didn't even set an alarm. Old phone glitch, leftover schedule, doesn't matter. Your body still floods with stress hormones over absolutely nothing. You spend the whole day off feeling like you dodged a bullet that was never fired. But if you think a machine screaming at you is bad, wait until it's a human doing it 2 feet from your face. Chewing shouldn't be a threat. But for a huge number of people, it genuinely is. Repetitive mouth sounds, chewing, lip smacking, that wet rhythmic smacking sit right at the top of the list of triggers for something called misophonia, not mild annoyance. A real, documented, brain-level reaction where a completely harmless sound produces actual rage. It's not about manners, it's about pattern. Your brain locks onto the rhythm and can't unlock from it, which is exactly why the next sound on this list doesn't even need volume to ruin your night. It just needs a body. Snoring. Snoring isn't loud because someone's trying to annoy you. It's loud because it's unpredictable, steady. Then a sudden gasp, a rattle, a pause that makes you wonder if you should check if they're okay. That unpredictability is the actual problem. Sleep experts are clear on this. It's not the volume that wrecks your night, it's the interruption. Every irregular snore snaps you out of deep sleep before you even register why. People have left rooms, left relationships allegedly over this one sound. And here's the cruel part. The person doing it never even wakes up. You're the only one paying the price, which, weirdly, sets up the next sound perfectly because this one wakes everybody up, on purpose. Slurping. In some cultures, slurping is basically a compliment to the chef. In most rooms, it sounds like a drain trying to escape a sink. It hits the exact same nerve as chewing, jaw movement, wet sound, repetition, except this one adds suction. An extra, unnecessary layer of noise your brain did not ask for. And the wild part. The person slurping usually has no idea it's audible past their own bowl. Meanwhile, everyone at the table is doing quiet, controlled breathing exercises just to get through dinner. But at least a noodle bowl gives you warning. The next sound gives you none. A phone ringing in a silent room, total silence. A library, a theater, a meeting that finally went quiet. And then a full volume ringtone, completely uninvited. This one is a textbook startle response. Loud, sudden, unexpected sound in a low-noise environment spikes your stress response instantly before your brain even processes what the noise is. For half a second, everyone in that silence becomes a suspect. Whose phone? Where? Turn it off! The ringer usually panics, fumbles, and somehow makes it worse trying to silence it. And just when you think you've heard the worst version of sudden noise in a quiet space, there's one that doesn't even need a room. It just needs a fence. The neighbor's dog, barking at nothing. No trigger, no stranger at the door, no delivery truck, just barking at the air at 11 p.m. Animal sounds get filed by your brain the same way alarm signals do, sudden, sharp, and impossible to predict, which keeps your nervous system on alert the entire time it continues. One bark you can ignore. 15 minutes of intermittent barking, and you're mentally drafting a strongly worded note you'll never actually deliver. The worst part is the silence in between barks. You start waiting for the next one, bracing for it. Which, funnily enough, is exactly the psychological trick behind the next sound on this list, except this one is designed to make you brace forever. The smoke detector's low battery beep. This is arguably the most diabolical sound on the entire list. A single beep. High-pitched, right in your ear's most sensitive frequency range. And it repeats every 30, sometimes 60 seconds, with just enough silence in between to make you think it's over. It's not over. Your brain interprets it exactly the way it was designed to be interpreted, as danger. Even at 3 a.m., half asleep, you cannot ignore it, because ignoring alarm sounds isn't something your nervous system is built to do. So you stand on a chair in your underwear, stabbing at a smoke detector with a screwdriver, hunting for the one battery compartment that refuses to open. And somehow, This isn't even the sound that upsets the most people on this list. That title goes to something a lot smaller and a lot louder. A kid screaming in the supermarket. A child's scream is one of the most attention-grabbing sounds a human can make on purpose. It's built into us. High-pitched distress calls light up the brain's alarm center almost instantly, whether or not the child is actually yours. So when it happens 2 aisles over from the cereal, your whole nervous system reacts like something's wrong, even though, statistically, someone just said no to a candy bar. Every parent in the store winces in solidarity. Every non-parent suddenly finds the produce section fascinating. Nobody's really mad at the kid. They're mad at their own body for reacting like this is an emergency. Which, honestly, brings us to a sound that's the exact opposite. Quiet, dry, harmless, and somehow just as universally hated. Someone sneezing like an explosion. Most sneezes are forgettable. This one isn't. It's a full chest, window-rattling detonation that comes with zero warning. And because it's sudden and loud, your body reacts with the same startle response as a slammed door or a car backfiring. Adrenaline, quickened pulse, the whole package, over someone's nose doing its job. Somehow it's always funnier in hindsight than in the moment. In the moment, you just want to know how one nostril generated that much force. But if a sneeze catches you off guard for 2 seconds, the next sound on this list catches an entire street off guard for much longer. The friend who honks instead of knocking. A car horn exists for one reason, warning people about danger. So when your friend uses it to say, "I'm outside," it doesn't register as casual. It registers as an alarm. Loud, low frequency, cutting through walls and windows like it's announcing an emergency instead of a ride to brunch. Every neighbor within earshot gets pulled into a conversation they didn't sign up for, and you're left sprinting for the door like the house is on fire purely because someone didn't want to get out of the car. It's rude, it's jarring, and it's still not the most obsessively repetitive sound on this entire list. That honor goes to something so small, it fits in your pocket. Clicking a pen nonstop, no volume, no shock value, just rhythm. Click, click, click. This one works differently than the others. It's not loud enough to startle you. It's repetitive enough to trap you. Once your brain locks onto that pattern, it becomes almost physically impossible to focus on anything else in the room. A silent meeting, a quiet study hall, one person, one pen, and suddenly an entire room is mentally plotting a crime. It's the smallest sound on this list, and somehow it might be the one that makes people snap the fastest. 12 sounds, one shared, universal rage. So, which one lives rent-free in your head? Drop it in the comments and tell us the one sound we somehow missed.